My grandmother was awesome. Her name was Stella, and in the 1920s, she was a flapper. She even had the beautiful sharp bob haircut. She loved to read and she loved to write. And just before she died, she wrote it all down. She wrote down everything she could remember about her life. And several years later, well, many years later actually, I didn't look at it for a long time. It had sort of made the rounds throughout my family. I became fixated on this particular part of the story where she talks about working in hotels in and around Sydney in the 1920s, luxury hotels. She worked at the Wentworth, and she talks about the famous people that came in, politicians and film stars and beauty queens. And in fact, she talks about Nellie Melba, serving dinner to Nellie Melba, and a woman who she described as having a beautiful voice but a sharp tongue. And these stories were just so fantastic. And the other thing that was great about them was she described all the dresses, all the frocks in such detail. And I'm proud to say that every single dress that my grandmother describes in her memoir has made its way into the book. But there was one story in particular that really caught my imagination. There were a young man and a young woman at dinner one night. This is at the Wentworth, and they were the son and daughter of a very, very wealthy farming family, and the young woman had a rope of pearls around her neck, which she was twisting around her fingers, and suddenly the string broke and the pearls went everywhere. And so Grandma, Stella, hit the deck to go and pick up these pearls, and at the same time the young woman's brother did the same thing, and their eyes kind of met under the table as they were picking up these pearls. Now in my grandmother's memoir, that's as far as it goes. Grandma goes back to serving dinner, but in Evergreen Falls, that's actually the beginning of everything.